everyone, welcome to our marine knowledge channel. This is Sailor Basha. So in this video, this is also a continuation of Daihatsu generator decarb. So in this video I would like to show you how to remove a piston ring, how to clean the piston, and how to refit a new piston ring. That is what we are going to see now. We'll go inside the video. Now we are going to inspect the piston, and we are going to remove the piston rings. So before removing the piston rings, just check the condition of the piston rings, old rings. Just check for any abnormal, any wear, any kind of damage in the piston ring and oil scraper ring. And you have to see the top of the piston. You can see a lot of carbon deposit on top of it. The reason why we do periodic maintenance is, you can see this carbon. This carbon, if it is not removed periodically, then it may leads to piston getting hot. So now we remove the piston, and what we do is we inspect, we remove all this carbon and everything, so that maintenance for the piston is done properly. Actually, we have to remove the piston ring with the help of piston ring remover, like we call it as a expander. But since I don't have the expander now, I'm using small rags, which can be used as an alternate way to remove the piston rings. Next video I will try to show with the tool. So now we are removing the piston ring with the help of rags. So it is also not you can say it is not a bad way, but since we don't have the tool, we are adopting this method. Olden days seafarers used to use this method because most of the time they don't get tools. So now we are removing the piston rings. So this piston have total 4 rings, 3 compression ring, 1 oil seal ring. So oil seal ring will be always in the last. The purpose of this oil seal ring is, it got a spring inside it which controls the lube oil flow towards the liner. So it controls the lube oil flow which is coming, and it supplies the flow of lube oil in a correct way. So now as you see, we use this rags and we removed all the piston rings. To clean the piston grooves. The piston grooves use penetrating oil, so that you can remove all carbon deposits on the groove area. So now we are doing the cleaning of piston grooves. Use rags. You can use very mild emery paper if you have hardened carbon deposits, but since we don't have much, we are using rags and penetrating oil. Even diesel we can use to clean it. So each and every groove you have to clean it and ensure it is free of any kind of carbon deposit or impurities. So that's what we are doing now. So if you have a very high quantity of impurities or carbon deposit, you can take a layer of emery paper and you can use emery to remove all those carbon deposits. But in this case our piston is in a good way, so we do only the rags cleaning. And do not use any kind of emery to clean the surface of the piston, because this surface have a very special coat, and if you use any kind of emery, that means you are spoiling the piston. So don't use emery, just use soft cloth for cleaning the surface of the piston. So we remove it, we cleaned it, clean all the grooves. This is the big end where gudgeon pin sits. So we cleaning of piston, removing of any kind of carbon deposit should be done in this manner. So once this is done, next step is we have to do the calibration of piston. So how to do the calibration, I had already said, I had already uploaded a video regarding how to do the calibration, so I don't want to go in detail in this video. I will give a link of how to take calibration of piston rings and piston grooves in the description. Please follow that. So okay, we are done with the calibration of piston, and next is we have to install the new piston rings. So again, before installing a new piston rings, always ensure the grooves is properly lubricated. The idea for doing the lubrication is the piston ring will go easily, and the movement of the piston ring within the grooves will be eased up. It don't get stuck. There won't be much friction while we are installing the piston ring. So I had already lubricated the piston grooves. Now how to install the piston, that is a very important thing. First I'm going to install the oil scraper ring oil spring. So you have to be very careful when installing the piston ring regarding the position. Always there will be a mark on the piston ring, so that mark should always come on top. So again, in this case I don't have the piston ring expander, so I use racks for fitting up the piston ring. So first will be our oil scraper ring. So again, whenever you select the piston ring, you have to check with the spare part number so that it should not mix. So first ring will be mentioned as first ring with part number, and second ring will be mentioned at second with part number, and first ring will be mentioned with first ring with part number. So you should not mix up, because almost apart from first ring, the other two ring will be similar. Very little changes will be there, so you have to be very careful on it. So do not mix up. And now we are going to install the third ring. Again, for the third ring, as I said, the printed engraved portion should be always on top of the piston ring, on top of the side. So just give a coat of lube oil over the piston ring, and use the expander, or I can use this racks, and you can fix it up. That's all. So number third ring is fixed up. Next will be number 2. So once you fixed up, just turn the rings and see whether it is freely moving or not. The idea of lubricating the grooves is this only, the rings will move freely. So here you see there is no marking, and here you can see the marking. That means this portion should be on top side. So we are fixing this. This is the second ring. So second ring is done, and we are left with one ring. the first ring. Only the first ring we can identify very easily because it have a different kind of cut. So first ring won't be a big issue for description. You can see the cut. For the other two ring there will be oblique cut. For this it's a different kind of cut, like it's a CPR ring, call it as a controlled pressure relief ring, that will be always on the first. So again all four rings are in place. So this is how you have to remove the piston ring, clean the piston and put back new piston ring. Okay, we are done with the job.